hope that is going on all over the world. And I must say that this aspect is very, very crucial with the launch of the Technical Hub. Well, just to wrap up the share, which is the agriculture, you know that the Alpha Boras program is very, very much online, and His Excellency is very, very key to this. You had when we celebrated the National Youth Day yesterday, the efforts of the present administration in ensuring that our youths are indeed well coordinated and connected to ensure that their strength are well done. So very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting this program officially. Therefore, ask that we will take the national anthem, signaling the formal commencement of this program this morning. I ask that you rise as we take the national anthem of our dear country, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Shall we take the national anthem? And we also take the state anthem, Shea. Ishaya, Ishaya, oh, Ishaya, Ishaya, Eshigiri, Iṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún wa láti ṣe. Ọmọ rere kì í ṣáṣẹ́, ọmọ ogun kì í ṣọ̀lẹ. Ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbẹ́rù, Ọlọ́run ń bẹ fún wa, ẹ tẹra mọ́ṣẹ́ o. Iṣẹ́ yá, ọmọ ogun, iṣẹ́ yá. Thank you very much. We'll start this program with prayers, and I would like to invite one of our participants to lead us in prayer as I invite Apostle John Lola Dada to pray for us. Apostle John Lola Dada, please, can we have the opening prayer from your side? Just unmute yourself and take the prayer. Thank you. Hello, Apostle. All right, if Apostle is not there, I'd like to crave the indulgence of His Excellency, the Governor of Ogun State, that we stand on the second stanza of our national anthem as the prayer this morning. O God of creation, direct our noble course, guide our leaders right, help our youth to know the truth, in love and earnesty to grow, live in just and true, great lofty height attain, to build a nation where justice will reign. Amen. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Governor of the State, Prince Dako Abiodun MFR, Your Excellency, Chief of Staff, Alhaji Shuaib Afolabi Salis, members of the Ogun State Executive Council, with special recognition to the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olaolu Olabinto, and his counterpart from the Finance Ministry, Honorable Commissioner for Finance and the Chief Economic Advisor, Mr. Dapo Ubadejo. Body of Permanent Secretaries, caretaker committee chairmen of our various local governments, our royal fathers, royal majesties, stakeholders, women groups, associations, our religious bodies, the students, and indeed all the stakeholders. Would like to welcome you to this interactive session of all our stakeholders in Ogun West Senatorial District as we prepare to put the budget for the year 2021 in place. Your Excellency, permit me to invite the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Planning to formally welcome all of us to the program today, Mr. Olaolu Olabinto.
Our amiable governor has been proactive in dealing with these effects, and so in the same spirit, we're having this meeting today. So take your thoughts and contributions, even as we put together the years 2021 to 2023 MTEP, as well as the year 2021 budget. In the inception of the Prince Administration in this case, your invaluable support, cooperation, and assistance, as well as aspirations with respect to moving to the forward. We have indeed experienced tremendous improvements in various sectors, and this is an attestation to the fact that
He's our kindness for Gillette. It was the constant need for a barber that first inspired King Gillette himself to create the personal safety razor back in 1901. Gary Coombe is the president of Gillette.
Until that point, the only way you could get a safe shave was go to the barber. So the combination of product and business model innovation is a part of our DNA.
In 1971, the first twin-blade track 2 razor hit the market, introducing what we now know today as the shave.
Restore the status of our dear state beyond the setback experience as a result of COVID-19. As we complete the roadmap of our fiscal horizon for the year 2021 and the outer years of our medium-term plan.
Thank you for staying with us.
Every one of you who has taken time out to be part of this meeting calling us all as important stakeholders to make constructive use of
Still open at the race for
our state. I told you that we will all be processed and apply on the side.
on the Senate side.
Move that state forward.
Yeah, well,
Today, I welcome us all to this very important town hall meeting.
the most active map they've ever had for taking control of the Senate. And right now, things do not appear.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olabinton. We would like to take a goodwill message from the Chief Economic Advisor and the Honorable Commissioner for Finance as well. We skip that. We expect that he will also join us as we progress. At this point, we'd like to have the opening remarks from the #1 citizen of the Gateway State. Don't forget that I highlighted what he shared is to the present administration as we ensure that we build our future together. That's why we're having this town hall meeting to have your own contributions as we prepare the 2021 budget. The Governor of Ogun State, His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun, will now give us the opening remarks. Your Excellency, sir.
He defeated former governor of Montana, Steve Bullock, to retain his seat. We also had a race that was supposed to be a toss-up, wound up not being competitive at all. Incumbent Joni Ernst in Iowa very closely tied her re-election efforts to President Trump, and it winds up paying off. She defeats Teresa Greenfield, who vastly outraised her. Earns as much money on advertising, it doesn't pay off. A similar story in South Carolina. You remember Jamie Harrison, a record-breaking fundraiser tonight. Lindsey Graham literally said, "You wasted your money." He wins re-election in the state of South Carolina, and it wasn't very close. Let's look at where things stand for the races that are still being fought. First in Arizona, former astronaut, husband of Gabby Gifford, former congresswoman Mark Kelly. Right now, he's leading incumbent Martha McSally by 100,000 with 80% of the vote in. Democrats have to be happy about that, but we'll show you why the math still doesn't add up favorably for them in just a
Very
second.
shortly, His Excellency will be coming with his opening remarks, and we'd like to implore us so that we can hear ourselves clearly. Once because of our time, we should leave out the protocols, just stand on the already established protocols and go ahead with your contributions, your suggestions.
Excellency, the President of the state government, all members of the House that are present, Commissioner, staff of the planning, team, the bodies and planning, the body of permanent secretaries that are also there present and supporting this event. His Royal Majesty and Paramount Ruler of Iwola, Oba Kennedy, of Ibadan, Royal Highness, Travis, a daughter of Professor Obama, all other families that are here present supporting our Paramount Ruler, all our community leaders that are also here present, all religious leaders that are also here present, all party leaders
also present at this forum. Great Nigerian youth, members of our state House of Assembly are also present. Our transition chairman that also present. Members of governors, elders, and vice council that also present. All members of civil society that are present. Other distinguished and eminent ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press. I join others to welcome us all to this very important virtual town hall meeting on the year 2023 million terms integrated framework and 2021 budget, which is holding for the West State today, Wednesday, the 4th of November 2020. This meeting is the second of such that we're holding across the three central districts in Nigeria State. The fourth of such was held on Monday, the 2nd of November 2020. The fourth of this month, for this year, was held on Monday, 2nd of November 2020, which was for the East Central District. I want to express appreciation for all the contributions of our people from the East, and I expect the same or even much more from our process of these internal meetings started last year. The idea is to allow for a broader participation of our people in the decision-making process. Our people should always be given ample opportunity for their contributions to the preparation of the budget because it is an essential document in the development process. Therefore, being an annual event, this meeting is essential as we move towards our fiscal year and activities which require input for proper planning. It is important that the government carries the people along when making crucial decisions, most especially those that affect the people, such as budget preparation. This is the underlying factor behind our administration's mantra of building our future together. Therefore, the series of town hall meetings are a symbolic representation of our administration's commitment towards inclusiveness and participatory government. In confirmation with the Ogun guidelines and protocol, we are constrained to hold this year's town hall meeting virtually. The COVID-19 pandemic has seriously affected advanced economies, those that is affected others globally. Even at that, we are continuing to work on transfer strategies that will ensure the welfare, wellness, and well-being of our people. This is the major reason why the revised budget was prepared at a fast reduction from 450 billion naira to 280 billion naira. This was to have a realistic budget performance because of the economic downturn occasioned by the pandemic. The greater attention of our administration was directed at stemming the tide of COVID-19 because of the year. Our administration shifted priority to over 400,000 vulnerable households, pushing the effect of COVID-19, translating to over 2 million individuals at a rate of about 5 to 6 per household. Apart from the fact that the state has expended heavily in procuring necessary health treatment for combating COVID-19, job vaccination and test centers were already put in place across the state. We've also rehabilitated and equipped different hospitals across the state. We have rehabilitated at least about almost 40 PHCs across the state. We started with about 2 primary health care centers for the state. We have visited the General Hospital in Ilaro, and we have equipped them with needed equipment. In particular, the West remains very key to continue development of Nigeria State. This is considering that this central district has always been a hub of commercial activities. Remains and the host of one of the busiest industrial hubs in this country. It's also the host to the business borders and our international West African corridor. In addition, this central district refers to as the extended upper Lagos to concern traffic from working to Lagos and giving to the West Central district. We have been given an approach to tap into the human population and commercial viability. We continue manifestations of our collective efforts at harnessing the economic potential of the West, in particular in the entire state in general, will further boost idea state development. We appreciate the need to urgently develop infrastructure as a pillar for continued development. Needless to mention, we have constructed and rehabilitated roads, and this is ongoing across the 3 central districts of Ogun State. Some have been completed, while others are nearing completion. And we recall that the first set of roads that we started and completed in this administration was in the West. And these are namely the Kola Gary Road, which is a total of about almost 4 kilometers. We have the host of other ongoing road projects in the West. And they are namely by town, by local government, the Road, the River Road, the Joju Road, the Singa Ujore Road, the Alu Koga Road, the Nashe Kukwatari Road, the Kogia, the Okiruta and Bolini Junction Road, the River Road, the Mashari Soto Road, the Oke on the road, and in Kogia, I know that we're working on the Afar Bridge, which is Kogia. These are the first phases of roads that we have begun to intervene in the West. We also have had the cries of our people in Agbara. Agbara remains our biggest road, and the Agbara from the Sada Road has been of major concern in this administration. This road, federal road, but we have since notified the federal government of our intention to take over this road. And we are currently finalizing the public-private partnership contractor process so that this road construction can begin at first. The same applies to the Lagos road. This road is also a federal government road that is completely very late. It is causing our people a lot of pain and torture. By the federal government, we have intention to take over this road. This road is a commercial road. We will take over this road. This road is a total of 62 kilometers. It will be the longest road that we are backing on. We are diving details of the contractor project and that we are now short. We've also embarked on affordable housing schemes. Our pilot project was in Kansas. Very exciting. We extended the same to the first stage, working on and 250 in Ibadan. Also dedicated to efforts providing a conducive environment for business to grow operational capacity. It is self-evident that this central district has contributed immensely to continued development of our state. Let me reassure you that we will continue to give due attention to the development needs of all our people, irrespective of location, age, gender, or political affiliation. Borrowing the word of our Nobel laureate, Professor Ogun, there is nothing more secure than a democratic, accountable, and participatory form of government. At this end, Let me assure all of you that we will take various notes of all your comments, recommendations, proposals of today, and that all of it will be taken as an important factor in the preparation process of the year 2021 budget of our dear state. Our people are therefore encouraged to contribute and take maximum advantage of the platform to express their views and aspirations on who their 2021 budget. Although the effect of COVID-19 has so much adverse effect on the economy in the current fiscal year because of the obvious, but we have managed to find this because of adequate preparation and prompt action. By what means we hear against goodness, by what we hear against goodness, the better outcome of this body. Our development plan will depend mostly on our capacity for intellect and the West is a very this idea program. Let me use the opportunity to inform our people of the district. We look forward to the same virtual meeting and prepare to complete a new towards successful preparation for the year 2021. Lastly, I will also call on relevant stakeholders for you to cooperate and collaborate with us towards building a viable future for our state. As other people and corporate organizations will take to afford their civic rights. We should support our state by raising taxes and use prosperity. Once again, I welcome you to this important Thank you all for listening and God bless you. And God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR, for that all-inclusive Kabiyesi, the Ulu and the paramount ruler of Yewa land, His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Kehinde Badewole Olugbele CFR, to inject their own contributions, as well as Kabiyesi, the Olota of Ota, His Royal Majesty Oba Professor Adeyemi Kabir Oba Lanlege. These are two royal fathers that we shall be harvesting their thoughts, their suggestions, and their comments as we pick up with the interactive session. Kabiyesi, can we have you, sir? If we have Kabiyesi Obalanlege or Kabiyesi Olota Oba.
Okay. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR, please permit me to stand on existing protocol. First, I would like to appreciate you for your love for my people.
Kabiyesi Obalanlege, we seem not to be hearing you clearly. Can you just unmute yourself so that everyone can hear your contribution?
Yeah, actually, I've done that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, Kabiyesi.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Thank you.
Kabiyesi, we can hear you, sir.
Your Excellency,
We are hearing you.
Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol. First, I would like to appreciate Its Excellency, for your love for my people in Adodo, Ota local government, and the entire Awori land. Specifically, thank you again for picking your deputy governor from our local government, in person of Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, and the Commissioner for Forestry, Engineer Tundi Akinyosi, and others. Our local government, Adodota, is more than some 5 local governments put together. And we demand for more appointments for our sons and daughters. Again, as you are aware, our roads are in a very bad state. While we cannot stop thanking you for the ones you have done for us, and you have also mentioned earlier that efforts are in pipeline to award contracts for some of the roads. But we demand that the following roads be given consideration.
Kabiyesi, Kabiyesi, you can just unmute yourself so that we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you, Kabiyesi. We can hear you, sir.
We demand that the following be given or considered as a matter of urgency. The roads are Toll Gate, Abeokuta Road, Ayetoro, Itele Road, Aton, Lusada, Agbara Road, Songo, Idiroko Road, Adodo, Ikoga Road, Lusada, Alapoti Road. I want to thank Your Excellency for leading us well so far in Ogun State. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kabiyesi.
Majesty of Professor Adiyemi Obalanlede. We would like for Yewaland, His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Kennedy Badiwoli Jubilee CFR Kabiyesi. If you can hear me, we request that you mute yourself and then you can contribute. Kabiyesi, the Olu and the paramount ruler of Yewaland, His Royal Majesty Oba Olubele.
Kabiyesi,
you, sir.
and paramount ruler, Yewaland.
We can hear you, sir.
Royal Majesty of Dr. Olubele, you can hear me, sir?
Kabiyesi, we can hear
Can you, Kabiyesi, we especially request that you unmute yourself and then you can address us. Kabiyesi, sir.
Your Excellency, Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR, all the members of the very eminent stakeholders on the platform, I want to appreciate Your Excellency you have extended to us. Can somebody control that echo, please? Are we together?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Your Excellency, or deliberate, I would say that Yewa and indeed Ogun West have suffered years of neglect by successive governments in the state. I would say with all sincerity, Your Excellency, that the state of our road, especially our roads at their worst state, speak, Your Excellency. There is no past without present. And there's no way we not refer to the past, Your Excellency. I would say, Your Excellency, that there was no road started here in Yewa land by the last government in their 8 years that was commissioned before they left. Not a single. The so much touted longest road they claim to embark upon, that's the Lara Ijo, Igua, Ojo, Elisha to which bus out at Idiroko Road. The entire road was opened up by PW contractor, and nothing, absolutely nothing, was done on this road in the 8 years. We come to Abeokuta for budget presentation, and we had billions upon billions of naira being budgeted for this project. And yet, for 8 years, nothing was delivered. Same thing on this Ayetoro, that's from Randa to Ayetoro Road. What was only delivered was the township road at Ayetoro. And I wonder and I ask myself, will I take a shopper to jump from either even Abeokuta or from Ilaro here to jump to Ayetoro? All the access road to Ayetoro are impassable. They are in a very bad state. And yet we have budget for Randa to Ayetoro. The same thing with Papalanto Ilaro, which incorporated a bridge in the budget. We have billions were budgeted at the budget presentation for today. All Nigerians know the state of Papalanto to Ilaro Road today. Ilaro to Owode was another road project that were budgeted for, though it was claimed that it was a federal government project. Your Excellency, these are some of the legacy of the past administration you have inherited. Agoshasha Ipokia Road with Odoafa Bridge. We are not talking of the type of bridge you have in Ijebu and Abeokuta. These are gathers. To refer to one ministry administrator, these are gathers. Just a minor, a mini bridge. 8 years, they couldn't deliver it. Upon Lusada Road, Agbara Road, which also incorporated a needless bridge. Your Excellency, nothing was done. While I'm rolling out what the past administration has embarked upon in Yewa land, for you to know, none of these projects that were budgeted for in the last 8 years were delivered to the good people of Yewa land and Ogun West. And I begin to wonder, whether the money proposed to be spent by the budget were actually spent or they are diverted to complete, because we know all the other road projects were completed. So the question is, what our own crime here in Ogun West and Yoruba land, that we continue to suffer this fate over the years. Unfortunately, when most of these budgets are being presented, we that are critical stakeholders don't even have a copy of the budget to be able to track the performance of some of these projects. We come to Abeokuta, the projects are presented, we go on with nothing to be able to track, even after passing the budget. I think you need to look critically into this. The budget are for the people of Ogun State, and I think we need to have a copy of what are being budgeted for and what are not being budgeted for. So that at the end of the day, we'll be able to sit down like this and appraise the performance of the budget vis-a-vis the revenue. So to me, personally, Your Excellency, I've lost faith in budgeting as an area I've never at any time benefited in any way from such exercise. Currently, if what I have seen so far from projects being implemented by our current government is to be used as a yardstick to show the performance of past budget, then I would say that the narrative has not really shifted from where we are coming from. Perhaps you actually 52 within our field in Ogun is to be used as a stakeholder, as a father, if really Ogun State belongs to all of us. In 52 weeks, Your Excellency, the compendium recorded that 69 roads were constructed or completed within the 52 weeks. 69 roads within the 52 weeks. From what is recorded here, Your Excellency, only 9 roads of those 69 roads were captioned for Ogun West. 9 roads out of 69 in the entire 52 weeks were all that I, as a paramount ruler, can show to my people in Ogun West, not even to talk of Yoruba land. Out of these 9, only 4 projects were executed in Yoruba land. That is within the jurisdiction of my office. 5 were in Ota, which fall within the Egba division. But what amazed me, Your Excellency, is that as recorded in this compendium of 52 weeks of building our future together, we were told that 13 kilometers of road were done on Papala and Totu-Ilaro and Yoruba frontier. Your Excellency, I would need to be shown by the people in charge where these roads are constructed in Ogun West. Papala and Totu-Ilaro to Yoruba frontier. There's a mix-up there. We have Papala and Totu-Ilaro, which is very direct. Then you have Ilaro to frontier, that is to Ibeshi. 13 kilometers were recorded by the Ministry of Works. Your Excellency, my people need to know where these roads were either patched or were either amended or were constructed in my area here. Also recorded out of the 4 roads in Yoruba land were the palliative works and patching. In fact, it was there that the palliative works and patching to Empire Ground, where we usually hold a yearly Orono festival. And I have here 1.2 kilometers. Your Excellency, it saddened me that this type of palliative work will be recorded as a project for the good people of Yewaland. What was done, to the best of my knowledge, today, if there are craters on that route, just from my office here to Empire Field, 1.2 kilometers was recorded. Those are two roads that I would say asphalt were laid in the entire Yewaland in that 52 weeks. Another road that was captioned that we have 4 in Yewaland was Imeko, Agbede, and Iwoye. And it was grading. It was grading. It was reported that it was a grading. The last one was Igbesa and the Gilaro in Igbesa axis was recorded to shape earth drain. Sir, these are the 4 roads captioned out of the 69 roads in the entire Ogun State for good people of Yewaland. Your Excellency, I'm depressed. Absolutely, this is not where we should be as a state. The narrative, as far as I'm concerned, is still what some of us suffered with the last government. The state of neglect, Your Excellency, needs to be addressed by your government. The state of lopsidedness is nothing to write about from what I have here. A major problem here is, Your Excellency, road is a major problem here. There is hardly any visitor that comes to my class here in Ilaro. Even as a citizen of Ogun State, they always ask me, Kábíyèsí, kí la fi ṣe wọ́n sẹ́? It's very painful that most of our children have even abandoned home. My official vehicle, most of my royal father, I will say it here, most of their vehicles are nothing to write home about. Our monthly traditional council meeting, we have shifted it for over a year or 2 now to bi-monthly, just because the state of the road are nothing to write home about. We can hardly visit ourselves. It is as bad as that, Your Excellency, and the good people of Ogun West. It's either one complaint, my vehicle broke down on the road, even my own official vehicle, the Benz that we are giving to us. If I'm finished with the front balloon suspension today, tomorrow it will be the back one. I'll pack it because what I spend on the vehicle is nothing to write home about. And that is the fate of virtually the good people of Yewaland and Ogun West. We are really, really suffering, Your Excellency. The truth needs to be, they used to say that conscience is an open wound. It's only truth that can heal. If I don't say this here, I'm only deceiving myself. And people who are close to me know that I will say it the way it is. The narrative, Your Excellency, has not really, really changed. At times I'm ashamed of myself. And so many of my people during the answers used that opportunity to come out with their grievances. Your Excellency, I would say that you need to help us so that we can have good things to say about the future. We are all in it, building together. As of today, the only 2 projects that I know the state government are Ilaro Owode Road, which was abandoned by the last government. The second road, to the best of my knowledge, in Yewaland, is the Agosha road, where you have the Odrafa. To the best of my knowledge, those are the only 2 roads in Yewaland that I would say that we have contractors working on them. But then, Your Excellency, the speed at which these road work are being done cannot be compared to what we are seeing in other districts or senatorial divisions. I know roads that were started during the COVID-19, they are almost 50% completed. But here, the contractor have been asked to go back, just still on a portion of the drainage at Owode. And people will come, they will keep on asking us, Your Excellency, you need to put us in a good position to be able to defend the project that you are doing here. The same thing with Odafa Bridge. The speed at which most of the projects, these two projects, which I know to the best of my knowledge that we have contractors working on them in Giwala, are going on at a very, very low speed. It is unfair. Your Excellency.
I'm afraid, Kabisi, because of time, your thoughts, your comments are well harvested, so that we'll be able to give other sectors the opportunity to also contribute. Kabisi, thank you very much. His Royal Majesty, the Ulu of Ilaro and the paramount ruler of Yewa land. Next, we will be moving on as I invite Alhaji Ekweme, that's the West Senatorial Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, to also gain his comments and his suggestions as we move ahead in this interactive session. May I also plead that to all our stakeholders that will be joining us and contributing, because of time, we can make our presentation in 2.5 minutes. Please, we appeal that in 2.5 minutes, let's just go ahead with our contributions. And as much as possible, let's leave out the protocols as already been established, and we can go ahead. Alhaji Ekweme. Alhaji Ekweme. Okay, while we wait for Alhaji Ekweme, can we take on another of our political leader in Ogun West Senatorial District, of course, a former chairman of SUBEB, Chief Mufutau Ajibola. Chief Mufutau Ajibola, if you're there, can we have you, sir? Just unmute yourself and let's have your contribution. Chief Mufutau Ajibola.
Hi. Thank you. It is my pleasure to welcome every to this Zoom meeting. I would like to extend my special appreciation to our amiable governor, His Excellency, Prince Dr. Dapo Abiodun MFR, the Deputy Governor, Their Excellency, Engineer Mrs. Naimo Salako Yedele, and others who are present at the Zoom meeting. My contribution are as follows. Ogun West Senatorial District needs good and motorable road on these axes. Owode Ilaro Road, Adodo to Ikoga Road, Itele Road, Songo Ijoko Road, Ato Agbara Road, and other in Ogun West. Secondly, lack of teacher in our primary and secondary school, which is the most important to schools. Thirdly, unemployment and empowerment of youth and women of Ogun West Central District. Lastly, issue of appointment to the member of Ogun West Central District is very low. Thanks.
We move on to Chief Mufutau Ajibola. If you can hear me, you have a microphone, and we want transition local government chairman from that axis, especially Yewa South and Adu Odota, to be standing by after Chief Mufutau Ajibola will be calling on you. But now, Chief Mufutau Ajibola, let's have you, sir.
Your Excellency, I thank you for actually bringing this discussion into play. All other protocols duly observed. Your Excellency, all other protocols duly observed. I have listened to some discussions here. It is no crime that you present a governorship candidate. When you present a governorship candidate, your votes are bound to be divided. And that is why some people believe that some local governments are bigger than the others. When we come together as a forum in Ogun West, that is before there were local governments, you will see that we are very, very populous. Being populous than those people who claim to be more populous than us. Your Excellency, you approved 12 roads in your cabinet recently, and the roads are here, but I will not mention them. What I am going to what I am particular with is that while approving the 12 roads, I have discovered that 58.3% goes to the east, that is Ogun Central District, 25% to Central, and 16.7% to Ogun West. We are still being sidelined. I know Ogun Central had over 98% of what we had in the budget in the last administration. They have no claim to complain. We have seen that most of the roads that they are even working upon now are at a snail's speed. I have contacted the contractor several times, and he has given me some reasons which are not attainable. Mr. Governor, sir, in the same way, the following roads were previously approved by the council. The Dero, Isachi, and Nipo. 2.35 Olusegun Ochoba, Tony Street in Nipo. 3.2 Molipa Express Road. What I'm trying to see here is why praising the governor, His Excellency, Dr. Abiodun, for the completion of the Ososi, Ikola, Odoeron Road in Ota, and State Hospital Road in Ilaro. The governor should not forget so easily his campaign promises for the people of Ogun West, which include equal distribution of wealth, appointments, and social amenities, which roads in Ogun State play as a vital role. More so that the Ogun West lays the golden egg that everybody is using as the gear, as the internally generated revenue of Ogun State. At least 80% of the IGR comes from Ogun West. And so the substantial part of that should be used there. Just as the Niger Delta, when the derivation is being given to them, we should now ask for derivation from the IGR for Ogun West. Having said that, Prince Abiodun, the Excellency, has denied Ogun West from the state appointments, with over 200 appointments in the state presently, ranking from secretary to the state government to the least level. Ogun West has only 14 ISO appointments, which are 4 commissioners out of 21, 2 special advisors, SA, out of 20, SA, 4 senior special assistants, SSs, out of several SSs, 1 consultant out of many, 3 board chairmen out of others, 1 consultant, and among almost 100 special assistants, if not more now. No single special assistant, now personal assistants has come to Ogun West. We only have other paperweight board members. What have we done to deserve this? Ogun political marginalization of Ogun West is alarming, and it is not good. We do not want to go into public protest against these injustices. So, Your Excellency, please look into this and let us have our own fair share of the progress in Ogun State. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Mufutau Ajibola, for your contribution. We're moving to the transition chairman of our local government, and representing Ogun West Senatorial District, we have the transition local government chairman for Yewa South and that of Adu-Duota local government, Mr. Fagbinru Olabode and Mr. Wasiu Lawal. If we have you, please, wherever you are, just mute yourself and let's harvest your own thoughts as well. From there, we will be moving to the civil society organizations, and we want them to well. Transition local government chairman for the West Senatorial District, the Yewa South local government and local government. That's the transition local government chairman for Yewa South local government. And harvest your contribution now, or if Mr. Wasiu Lawal we can have you, any of the two, and we take your own contributions as well.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
We can hear you, sir, but you have to unmute your video. We can't view your picture.
Okay, good afternoon, my able governor. All protocol duly observed. I'll go straight to my point. My people have really talked about bad roads. Majority of the nurses are retired or no replacements. When you go to all these maternity centers, it's being handled by attendants and non-qualified hands. And besides, the doctors, because I wonder, a doctor managing a whole local government of about 10 wards, I wonder what will happen. Please, I would like our governor to look into that as well. Employment of nurses, the doctors, laboratory, and so many other health workers. Then secondly, the secondary school and primary school teachers. I will want our governor to look into that as well. There are a lot of shortages of manpower. The teachers, they are not enough. When we look back, it's been years back that they have employed teachers into the schools. Sir, kindly look into that as well. Then thirdly, our people, particularly our youth in our area, we don't have many companies to work. The level, the rate at which the customs are killing youth, both female and male, is nothing to write home about, all in the name of carrying rice or little ways in which they will take to mend fences in terms of a daily feeding. Please, Mr. Governor, we have been clamoring for all this. The customs, they are careless about human life. Even there are some innocent citizens sleeping in their houses. Stray bullets will just go in and kill them. Please, Mr. Governor, we would like you to look into that so that this thing will be reduced. Then, fourthly, the youth empowerment is important. We know you are really trying and you are an achiever compared to what has been happening in the previous administration. Like this NSAS protest that happened a few weeks back now, we thank God that we are saved. We knew what some of the local government chairman or chairman faced because the youth wanted to bombard us, thinking that everything lies in the hands of the local government chairman. Since they are ever since, you have been trying to make sure that you empower the youth so that they can have something doing, because idle hands is the devil's workshop. Then by and large, the issue of electricity. During your campaign, you mentioned something about electricity, and we know you are up to the task. Please, it's important you look into that as well, particularly this issue of transformer. You have been distributing some, but not enough, sir. Then, prepaid meter is important as well, because the rate at which the NEPA are charging, despite the fact that the electricity is not coming the way it's supposed to come, the charge at random. But we believe once there's a prepaid meter, automatically there's no way in which they can change anybody in that aspect. Another aspect I want to lay emphasis on is the strengthening of the local government administration. There are minor roads in which the local government transition chairman could be able to fix without interference from the governor. I wouldn't say much. Grading and minor roads, whereby it will complement your effort, because you can't do it all. The work level on the governorship position is too enormous, too much. But with the support of the transition or the chairman, I believe things will go on smoothly. God help us, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Fabian Labodi, the local government transition chairman for Yewa South local government. We have his counterpart from Adu-Dota local government, Honorable Wasiu Lawal. Can we also harvest your own contributions? Don't forget, sir, we require that you have this done in 2.5 minutes, please, so that we can have other sectors join us and have their input. Honorable Wasiu Lawal, Adu-Dota local government transition chairman.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Honorable. Please kindly unmute your video. We can only have you.
Your Excellency, permit me, my only contribution based on budget policy, whatever the budget policy of the state government, we should just try as much as possible that it reflects the agitation of the people in Ogun West. Hello? Hello? Hello, everyone.
Video, we have you on the honorable.
Hello? Hello?
From this side.
Hello?
Honorable Wasilawal, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. I said whatever, depending on the budget policy of the government, let it reflect the agitation of the people of Ogun West. We know in the recent past of what has happened, we know the agitation of every local government from the Ogun West. So I want the budget to reflect the infrastructural development in the West, the intensifying of security of life and property, as well as investment in that region is very, very key. Efficient and effective waste management and healthy environment is very key to the people of Ogun West as well. Investment in education regarding the shortage in manpower at various levels of our schools is also key. I want to appeal to the Commissioner for Budget as well as
we seem to have lost connection there. From Honorable Wasilawal. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm on.
Okay, can you just land on your thoughts so that?
Yes, I'm not done yet. So I want to emphasize here that what we are doing today is pre-budget citizen engagement. We should also have post-budget citizen engagement so that we can review whatever the performance of the budget and people will be carried along on the effective management of that budget. Also, I want this budget to also create a maintenance culture in the budget where we need to budget for infrastructures. So recently, in the recent past, the governor said they are going to establish Ogun State Public Work Agency across the local government. And I think that one is very, very key. Because if we have Ogun State Public Work Agency working together with the Director of Works at various levels of at local government, all the roads that has been constructed can be properly maintained so that every little maintenance that is needed on this road will be quickly attended to, and it will save us a lot of reconstruction of that road. Also, I want the government to also empower the local governments and consider the local government as a participatory government to complement the effort at the state level. So all the necessary avenue to ensure that the revenue item that has been taken over by the previous administration is properly returned to the local government so that we can have enough revenue to
All right, thank you, Honorable Wasil Lawal. Well noted.
Senatorial district.
We will be moving to the civil society organizations, African Foundation for Environment and Development, as well as the Family Health Initiative. For African Foundation for Environment and Development, we have Mr. Afari Ogun, and for Family Health Initiative, we have Mrs. Olatuji. So if we have any of you, the two online, you can just unmute yourself. Otherwise, we'll cross over to the professional bodies, and we can have Pastor Dr. Adeyinka Adesoya, FCA. That's the Assistant Secretary of ICANN. So let's have you, sir. Pastor Dr. Adeyinka Adesoya, Assistant Secretary, ICANN from Ogun West.
Afaro is around for now. Hello, can I speak this additional Afaro from African Foundation for Environment?
Hello, Mrs. Olatunji Family Health is also around. Miss.
Can we speak?
Hello? Hello?
All right, we have Mr. Afari Ogun of the African Foundation for Environment and Development. Just unmute yourself and let's take you, sir. Mr. Afari Ogun, unmute yourself and then you can go with your contributions. Don't forget, just 2.5 minutes.
Hello?
All right.
Mrs. Olatunji?
Your Excellency, and Your Excellency, my name is Adeshola Afari Ogun. All protocols duly observed. Sir, I am happy we are having this session today, which is one of the things we have actually been clamoring for, which is part of citizen engagement. And there is really need for effective budget engagement. And for effective budget engagement to really happen, sir, Your Excellency, we need the full budget and not just the budget statement of Ogun State to be online and to be accessible, which is very, very key. That's number one. We also need budget performance to be online and to be accessible. At the end of the day, we can do our tracking and monitoring effectively. And the third one, sir, there's need for the state to also educate the citizens on budget engagement so that we can all be part of the system. Because as citizens, we have the right and the power to do budget tracking. And I'm happy, even on the Ogun State website now, there's amended procurement law 2020 for Ogun State, which is one of the tools that we need to use to work, which is very, very key. And at this point, I'm also calling on the civil society organizations around the community and all the likes that please just look into the budget and pick items that is relevant to your community and let us start following up. Your Excellency, sir, when you are doing well, we are going to say kudos to you, and we are going to commend you. But in cases where we see that there is need to be done, there's more to be done, and we feel that we have not done well, please, I would like you to take it in good light and just work and just adjust as much as possible. We still belong to all of us, and we are all in it together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Afari.
Mrs. Olatunji on the line.
With that of
Hello?
Mrs. Olatuji of Family Health Initiative. We'll ask Pastor Adesoya to please hold on. After Mrs. Olatuji, we'll swing over to your side. Now, Mrs. Olatuji, unmute yourself and let's take you. Mrs. Olatuji of Family Health Initiative. Can we have you now? Just unmute yourself, and then you can go ahead with your contribution. Remember, you have just 2.5 minutes to do that, and let's leave aside all protocols and let's stand on the protocols already established so that you have more time for your contributions and your suggestions. Thank you. Mrs. Olatuji, Family Health Initiative.
Good afternoon, please. Good afternoon. Are you hearing me, please? Hello? Hello?
Hello, we can hear you, madam.
Oh, thank you, sir. I want to appreciate the governor for what he has been doing, especially for women and children. But we still need more. We need more in the sense that, you know, when we train a woman, you have trained a nation. So there are some areas we need the governor to assist the women in empowerment, development. You have to train them so that they will be able to assist the family and bring up a better family. And the governor can do this by supporting the Ministry of Women Affairs and Primary Health Care Board in doing all this so that every woman will be reached and the children too will be reached. And by doing that, we also improve the maternal mortality rates within the community. We want to appreciate the governor to please provide money, or let me say support the women affairs to give soft loan to women in the rural areas. We also appreciate you, sir, that by doing this, we can even use CSOs to assist in the intervention and to implement some programs so that more women, more families will be reached. We have so many people, like disabled people. We need to reach them. They need our assistance in terms of training them, then giving them some little support so that they can have their livelihood. We also need more care, more education, health education on the part of women so that they'll be able to plan their family, have effective family, and bring up good children, and also reduce the infant mortality rate within the community. Then when we go with all people have been saying, good road, water, all these are also needed in all the rural areas, especially the rural women. They are working and they are assisting their families, and we will be able to get better things from the community. Also, we should also remember the elderly. We have the aged, the elderly women, then widows. They all need the assistance of government, not really in money, but at least if they are given the knowledge, the little support, they'll be able to live on their own. Then we have so many CSOs who can do that across the local government. We have various CSOs dealing on health, nutrition, and care of the baby. So we want to appreciate you once again for what you have been doing, sir. And we want more, because we know by the time you assist a woman, the nation will be better. Thank you, sir. Hello, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Olatunji, for your contributions. They're well harvested. Don't forget that we are still going to have the response coming from His Excellency after this interactive session, but we are moving on as we swing to the side of the professional bodies. We have the Assistant Secretary of ICANN, Pastor Adeyinka Adesoya, standing by. And we also hope that Dr. Samuel Akitunde of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management and Mr. Anthony Godonu of the Nigeria Union of Journalists will also complete that sector. For now, we have Pastor Dr. Adeyinka Adesoya, Assistant Secretary of ICANN from Ogun West Senatorial District.
Your Excellency, sir, standing on the existing protocol, I'm Pastor Adeyinka Adesoya. I'm the chairman of Ota and District Society of ICANN, and also the Assistant General Secretary for Western Zone of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. I want to start by saying this. There is a Yoruba proverb that says, Biba se oba se, bala olela. Elders, please forgive me for saying proverb in our midst. Mr. Moderator, I think you can hear me. Yeah, so all that we have been saying all along, we have been concentrating on expenditure. But technically speaking, budget is not only on expenditure. It's a two-way thing. You have the revenue aspect of it, and you have the expenditure aspect of it. But between you and I, if the revenue aspect of it is not catered for, then the expenditure aspect of it will fail. So I want to just use the little time given to me to dwell on the revenue aspect of our budget side. From the data I have, and I look at the potential of Ogun State by virtue of its proximity to Lagos State. Whenever Lagos State is making a revenue of above 30 billion in a month, there is nothing stopping Ogun State from making between 20 and 25 billion IGR in a month. And simply because the Ogun State has not been able to harness all the potentials available. And I want to quickly mention one or two things that I feel that in preparing for 2021 budget, the government needs to take into serious consideration. Number one, we need to look at the enumeration of taxable persons in Ogun State, not only in Ogun West, but across Ogun State, the taxable persons, both corporate and individual. Number two, the government will help its IGR tremendously by bringing the informal sector into the tax net. The informal sector, very, very critical. And when you look at it in Ogun State, it's only the civil servants that are paying personal income tax. So how many people are actually paying the other businessmen across the board? So there is need for the government to deliberately come up with a policy that will bring the informal sector into the net, into the tax net. Also, we look at the tenement rate and the land use charge. You know, Ogun State has a lot of potentials. When you look at, all the developments going around, the Ogun West, Ogun East, and the Central, Ogun State government stands to benefit tremendously. There is a lot of revenue that can accrue to the government by harnessing the potentials of this tenement rate land use charge. So it be also on the government to come up with a strategy and with a policy that can assist and that can help, in generating revenue from this. And as far as we are concerned, as part and parcel of stakeholders of Ogun State, OTA and District Society of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, we are ready to partner with the state government free of charge in order to help in actualizing this. Also, I want to emphasize on the provisions of the PITA, that is a Personal Income Tax Act. Ogun State needs to really harvest the potentials of this. Vis-a-vis the residency rule that, you pay your tax to where you are resident. 30% of people working in Lagos State are resident in Ogun State. So, and Ogun State is not coming up with a strategy and a policy in order to address this so that they can generate income. I strongly believe that all the expenditure aspect that has been, that our people have been talking about all along, if there is enough revenue, because the allocation from the federal, from the federation account has been going down consistently over the years. I look at the data and I felt sorry for Ogun State, as at the last time, maybe about 25 billion or thereabout. What will that do in Ogun State? So there is need for us to deliberately put in policy, put in place policies that will encourage people to pay their tax, voluntarily. And again, other economic development programs. I look at this Gateway Hotel or Tadia. It's lying fallow, not generating any income, not bringing anything to Ogun State. And these are other, economic ventures that Ogun State needs to revive. and taking advantage of certain strategic things happening in Lagos State. Like I look at the time they put down Okeodo market and people relocated their foodstuff market to somewhere along Abeokuta Road there. And Ogun State needs to move it quickly, develop the place, and create an enabling environment for people, to do business and thereby generate income from that. Things like that. We are ready to partner with the state government in helping them, and supporting them to make sure that the IGR of the state improve tremendously. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Dr. Adinka Adesoya of ICANN, for that brilliant contribution. Glad to know that you're ready to partner with the Ogun State government. For now, we swing over to the side of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, where we're going to be having Dr. Samuel Akintunde. Dr. Samuel Akintunde, don't forget you have 2.5 minutes for your contributions.
Yeah, good afternoon, Your Excellencies and esteemed member of the State Executive. First, I want to say that this Zoom meeting should be made regular. Secondly, I want to emphasize that, see, there is no doubt that the entrepreneurial workforce has to do with budget performance. And that is why we are coming in from the angle of the revenue generation, profitabilities of the system. Now, the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management is concerned with the acquisition, development, and maintenance of entrepreneurial workforce. The first thing that could be done, that should be done quickly, is focusing on education. In education sector now, we are having a situation whereby the program of study is being separated from program of entrepreneurship, creating a situation whereby people or students, graduates will be competing in their area of comparative disadvantages, leading to high failure rates, as we have seen around us. Secondly, we need to emphasize intrapreneurship development. Study has established that people who go from an existing company to establish their own have high success rates down from school to self-employment. Thirdly, if we don't have entrepreneurial civil service, we can have entrepreneurial community, because civil service is the catalyst. Unfortunately, why it is accepted that human resources is the most difficult, yet is the one that is assumed that anybody can manage. Look, go to ministries like establishments, civil service, commission, even permanent secretary.
Don't speak. The microphone is.
Are we together? Hello? Hello?
We are together.
Okay, I think you are hearing me. I think you are hearing me.
Yes.
Okay. So we need to professionalize the civil service. I'm talking about administrative cadre. Lagos State now, they are professionalized administrative cadre, that any function that is human resources, only trained, certified professionals are in charge of it. A unit like Bureau of Establishment, Civil Service Commission, permanent secretaries should be manned by trained professional human resource experts. It has gone to the extent of creating even a type of ministry of establishment in Lagos State. So if we don't do that, there will be problem. Today, performance as professor in the civil service is like a waste of time and resources. Training is more of welfare than compensation is not discriminatory, and therefore liquidating human resources. There's no difference between those who do well and those who do not. It is about passing records. So we need to create entrepreneurial workforce. Incidentally, my PhD program was on this program, and the civil service of Ogun State and that of Lagos State was the focus of study. After the program, I sent a proposal to the head of health service. We have not got any response on that. But my point is, we need to ensure that those who handle human resources, with the most difficult resource to manage, are professionals. If we don't do that, we are going to have this problem continue. Thank God we now have Office of Transformation in the civil service. Incidentally, if the establishment has been professionalized, we won't be doing that. It is because of the failure of the system that became necessary. And lastly, waste disposal. Somebody has spoken about it. We need to create a system that will make that waste disposal a way of creating wealth. How do we do that? We can have a law regulating disposal. Every vehicle should be mandated to have waste bin, something like that. And two, there should be a system they should perfect the system for collecting it and then recycling the waste. It's a way of generating employment and revenue. Thank you very much. And let me add that we too, we are ready to partner with the state to ensure this. If the civil service is entrepreneurial, not only will there be more results, more revenue, but also the society itself, the various companies will be more entrepreneurial, and they will solve a lot of problems without needing to manage to bother the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samuel Akins today, and it's getting interesting. You know, we now understand that government cannot do it alone. We also have our own contributions, and coming forward to partner with the government will indeed take us to that lofty height. Still with the professional bodies, we will move to the sector that will definitely project whatever any administration is doing, and they are known as the fourth estate of the realm. We are inviting Comrade Anthony Gardner of the Nigeria Union of Journalists to also be part of this interactive session. Anthony.
Good afternoon, everyone, and well done. Well, once again, my name is Anthony Gardner. I'm a member of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ Ogun State Council, also from Yewa Aziz. Well, let me appreciate government of Ogun State, led by Prince Dapo Abiodun, for organizing this town hall meeting. Though this is not the first one, but I think its continuation will help develop the society. Let me go straight to Yewa Aziz, which is Ogun West Senatorial District. Well, there are lots of things which the area needed from government. To me, I think what we are to do, especially government in the coming year or in the budget, should be to focus more on rural areas. Ogun West is also an area that shared boundary with Lagos State through the ocean, which is the lagoon. There are communities around these Aziz which are not attended to. government is not utilizing the potentials in those areas in generating revenue and also in empowering the youth and citizens of the area. Such a thing could be done through the provision or construction of roads that lead to these community areas. First, let me mention Ipokia Mount Akere Road. This is one of the major roads that leads to a riverine community, which is Akere community, that is close to Lagos State. And people are using this route to travel to Lagos State for doing business. Those working there, those making their living there are people who are using canoe and other source of means in generating revenue. If government can focus on this area, it will be better for the government and the people. We also have Izigi, then Vawegbo, Vawekpevi, Vawetafa, and Hweka. These are riverine communities in Ogun State, especially in Yewa, Ogun West Senatorial District, which, when harnessed properly, when focused properly, it will assist the government and the people. And these things could not happen or can only happen if roads leading to these areas are constructed and completed. We have another one from Hweka, from Ipokia to Hweka to Be. These are the roads which are calling for attention from government. That is it. Then we also need government to empower the youths. Youths in this area, they are not empowered. They have not been feeling government's presence. There are promises and promises from the government, especially the previous administrations, which are failed promises, unfulfilled promises. I think it is high time government of Ogun State should focus on this area. When you invest in an environment, you'll be able to reap or get a reward from that area. I will appeal to government once again to focus more, one, on empowering the youth of Yewa Axis, construct roads which are very, very important but are not attended to. We also have roads like from Egua, Ojaodon to Ilashe, Koko, Fuintedo. Though, thank God, government put it in plan to reconstruct Ilashe Fuintedo, Koko Road. That is a good move. But from Egua down to that Koko, there is another road there which the previous administration started but later abandoned. If these things could be done, I think no citizen of the state will feel marginalized or abandoned in the scheme of things in Ogun State. Let me from here rest my case, but furthermore, let me assure the state government of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Ogun State from Yewa Axis our support for successful administration of Prince Dapo Abiodun in the coming year and also in future. Thank you very much. Hello. Hello.
Thank you very much, Anthony Cardone, for your contribution. And I must say on a light
Hello?
note that since we are talking about budget, the Igbo will always say, Nara for talk, don't for talk. It's all about budgeting, and it's part of it. We move into the socio-economic group. We have the YEWA G6 ambassadors, the YEWA think tank president, and of course, the youth groups in OTA. Let's see if we can go over to YEWA think tank president, Professor Ihosu, and the youth groups in OTA. Isaac Oba should be getting set. For now, let's have Professor Ihosu. You can unmute yourself and then go ahead with your contribution. Please note, sir, that you have 2.5 minutes to do this, and let's leave out the protocols and move over to our contributions, comments, and suggestions. Professor Ihosu, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. All protocol duly observed. I hope you are hearing me. Hello?
Yes, we can.
Are you hearing me?
We can hear you. But we cannot see your face.
Everyone can hear you.
Everyone can hear you.
Omit your video.
It's all right. I've done that. Please, I just want to add this to what earlier speakers have said about Ogun West, and particularly Yewa axis. The paramount ruler of Yewa land, Baba Jibola, and even the immediate past speaker, Anthony Gandonu, has spoken a lot. I just want to add here that one other thing in education sector is about the tertiary institution that we are all looking forward to in Ikokia. Each time we pass through that place and we see resources that have been invested there rotting away, it doesn't gladden anybody's heart because these are taxpayers' money. I would wish that His Excellency in this budget planning, we look seriously into seeing how that place will begin to function. That's one, it's quite important. Another thing is about so much talked about industrialization of our areas. I know that a lot has been said about refinery program in Ikokia and Tongeji Island. I think the government could facilitate this and make private organizations come on board to begin to operate in those areas, and it's going to be a good source of revenue to government. Not only that, by the time we look at the riverine areas that have been mentioned by Anthony Gandonu, we find people working in Badagry and living in Ogun State, and they're supposed to pay their tax at least to the Ogun State government where they reside, but they cannot do that joyfully if facilities are not well developed. I know that traveling on water, it doesn't take more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes at most to get to Badagry from these places, Vawegbo and Zigi, and all the places that Antonio has mentioned. If government will look into that, we had a study some years back, and we found that it's not impossible to have a circular road passing through that area to Badagry and linking Lagos State, and that will ease a lot of traffic on our Idiroku Sango road, and we make that road to last longer. I wish that government will begin to look into that direction and see how those areas can be developed, and the roads which already have been mentioned anyway will come on board to see our people move.
It seems as if we lost connection there, but thank you very much, Professor John Ihosu, for your contribution. We move to the youth groups in OTA, and let's have Isaac Ogba, please. Isaac Ogba, if you're there, we can have your contribution to that. And I'm sure the religious fathers from West Senatorial District, they're also standing by, Imam Adeomi and Apostle Dada. We will come over to you. But now let's take on Isaac Ogba. Isaac Ogba, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Isaac Ogba, and by the grace of God, I represent the fixed Adodota Road movement. In the recent past, it is no more news that there was a protest embarked upon us, whereas people were having NSAS under another protest. But we that are residents and indigenous of Adodota local government area, ours was purpose driven. Why? Because we don't have any road infrastructure over here. In the first instance, records will show that the size mass of this local government is about 878 square meters. Number one. Number two, we have over 1 million population of people resident in this local government area. As far back as 2006 census figures, this local government was attributed to have over 526,565 people living in this local government area. Over 500,000 as far back as 2006. And many of us were not even in this place by then. But even judging from the INEC figures, registered voters, although the local government is said to have over 324,129 registered voters, that tells you the population-wise, what this local government is made of. Industries-wise, we've had meetings with MAN, we have close to not less than 200 manufacturing companies into manufacturing in our Adodota local government area alone, minus other non-manufacturing companies resident in this local government area. So in all, we have not less than 1,000 industries here. And that is why this local government is ranked as the second most industrialized local government areas in this country. But unfortunately, it's like it has become, instead of being a blessing, it has now become a curse in disguise. And that was why on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, people die on a daily basis, weekly basis, because of these bad roads. And unfortunately, past governments have neglected us. And we don't want this present government to continue the trend. And that was why we had to protest. Last year, lawyers embarked on protest. I was even the NBA chairman then also. State government officials came, pleaded with us that in this year, 2020, the roads in this place will be given priority. Thank God, we appreciate the government for fixing the Kola Road and the Navy Road. That was last year's budget. And they gave us a promise that this year we'll be given priority and most of those will be filled. But as we speak, this is November. Apart from those roads that were done last year, nothing has been done in this local government area. And that was why we went on this protest. Unfortunately, it's like government is only concentrating on the NSAS agitations, but ours is not being given to prominence. Yes, the governor spoke recently by saying that they are interfacing with federal government in relation to Songo, Tollgate, Abeokuta Road, Ituroko Road, but because federal government have refused to release those roads, and that is why they cannot. After all, federal government says, Gofatola said, don't fix any of our road, will not refund the money back. We are all living witness to the fact that this Abeokuta Shagamu dual carriageway is a federal road. As we speak, the same state government that says, because Fashola has not released these roads to us, they cannot fix it. The same state government is fixing those roads. We know Olomore Brewery Road are also federal roads. As we speak, the state government is fixing them. The question is if other federal roads can be fixed by this government, we have two major roads right now that links Ogun State and Lagos, that leads also to the border in deplorable state. If they can put those ones in priority, the worst things have we committed to deprive us of this road. As we speak, Tollgate Abeokuta Road is in deplorable condition. Ayete Road, Itele Road, the no-go area. Aton Lusada Agbara Road, no-go area. Songo Idiroko Road, the same thing also. Adodo Ikoga Road, the same thing. Lusada Alakboti Road, the deplorable condition. Only Hali Agoro, Ijoko Road, the same also.
We lost connection there with the audio from Isaac Ogun. We do hope that we still have time to connect you. Otherwise, we say a very big thank you
Can you
to
hear me
you
now?
for your contributions. Let's move over to our religious bodies. For the Christian Association of Nigeria, I will be inviting Apostle John Lola Dada. And please, would like to appeal to us. If some of our contributions have been highlighted earlier on, we can just leave that so that we can talk on other aspects to avoid repetition. Apostle John Lola Dada, if you're there, would like to have you, and we want Imam Adewumi to be standing by. Apostle John Lola Dada, representing the Christian Association of Nigeria, let's have you now. Remember, you have just 2.5 minutes for your contributions. Let's leave out the protocols, and if your matter must have been raised by some other sectors, let's leave that out and touch other areas that have not been mentioned. Thank you.
Hello.
Apostle,
can you hear me?
Unmute yourself and then you can go ahead. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Apostle. We can hear.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Go on, sir. We can hear you.
Apostle, you can please go ahead with your contribution. Apostle John Laladada, representing CAN, West Senatorial District. Please go ahead.
Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you, Apostle.
Permit me to stand on the existing protocol with a special prayer for our governor. God of heaven started with him, will give him a good and a successful tenure in the mighty name of Jesus. A lot has been said concerning our roads in Ogun West. A lot has been said, and I would like to lend my voice again to it, because Ogun State is a gateway state, and from the look of things, Ogun West is the gateway. It's the gateway to every good things that is coming into Ogun State. Yet, it is these sections of the state that is not enjoying the roads. I see. Even the Dangote road, the road that Dangote constructed from Ilaro through Ibeche, it's like a trailer park, because they are the one that park on the road. Whenever they park their trailers on that road, even Okada riders cannot move. So it's not a road meant for other road users. It's meant for their trailers alone. So what is the benefit of that road to the West people? So please, I pray that the God of heaven will help our governor to look at Ogun West this time. And look at, there are so many things that can generate revenue for the state through Ogun West. Somebody mentioned recently about revenue. But budgeting is not about expenditure, it's about even revenue. Yes, Ogun West has a greater potential to bring in great revenue to the state if they have good roads. If they have good roads that can make the farmers, that can invite investors to come in, Ogun West is number one. So if the state can give good roads and other social amenities to Ogun West, we will see that this will boost our IGR in Ogun State. Secondly, in terms of hospitals, please, we need to work on it so that in Ogun West, doctors will be in our general hospital, not just one doctor, doctors, and as many nurses as possible. Teachers also are needed in our Ogun West, both primary and secondary school. In the past administration, the model colleges that was built, the ones in Ogun West, they have turned out to be a bush now. So educationally, Ogun West has not been enjoying much. I appeal to the present administration under our own Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR to look at education in Ogun West and make it a viable one. And lastly, this has to do with the entire state. Let us put God first in whatever we are doing. Let us budget for God and let prayers be offered to God concerning this our dear state of the state. We should not do things just anyhow, anytime, but let us create a time. Let us have a particular day. Let us have a particular month set aside to pray to God on behalf of this state. Let it be a thing that should be looked onto. And I pray that today's deliberation is going to bring a good turnaround to we people in Ogun West. I want to commend the effort, the courage, the word of our own paramount ruler for what he has said. In fact, I doff my cap for him. God bless Ogun State, God bless Yewa, and God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Apostle John Lola Dada, for your contributions. Please, I would also like to inform other stakeholders that will be contributing. We'd like to appeal to us. Once some of our thoughts must have been mentioned earlier on, we can leave that aspect and touch on other areas that have not been mentioned so that we won't keep repeating ourselves because of time. We appeal to us, please, let's look through our presentation. Areas that must have been touched, let's put that aside and let's bring to the front burner areas that we believe still needed to be touched and have not been mentioned. After these religious bodies, we will come over to the Community Development Council. But for now, shall we take on Imam Adewumi? Imam Adewumi, please unmute yourself and then we have your contribution. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
I want to stand on the and I want to thank His Excellency. I am representing the Chief Imam of Igalade, who happens to be the President of the League of Imams and Alphas of Ogun State. Therefore, I'm representing the League and the Muslims of Ogun State. I want to thank His Excellency for his love, his respect, and his legendary generosity for the League of Imams and Alphas in Ogun State. Thank you for your recent appointments. The League, the Muslims of Ogun State, they are happy and they appreciate you, sir. First of all, my brothers, we need a sort of reorientation of ourselves in Ogun State, especially our youths. Nobody is ready to work for another person, and nobody is ready to die for others. In some countries, some people die for others to live, but here, nobody is ready to die or to work for others to eat. Eventually, nearly everybody will remain in hunger or we will all die together. Here, the orientation is that even the messenger in offices is a person that does not want to do anything until he's given money. The messenger can keep your file because he has not been able to take 1,000 naira from you. Therefore, there's need for the imams and the pastors, the referees, to tell people in their churches and mosques that we have to follow our religion squarely and follow the instructions of Almighty God by being our neighbor's keeper and work for others. That's the first thing. The league has also advised me to tell the state people that we cannot do anything. Earlier on, people have been talking about we want the government to do this, to do that, but the fifth speaker who said You want the government to do all these things. Where is the money? Last year, I spoke on taxation. We have to pay tax. And in Ogun State now, 70% of the people living in Ogun State are tax evaders. They don't pay tax. Countries where they don't have crude oil, they don't have minerals, they move on with taxation and their brains. They do things better than we do it here. Even then, even when we have the crude oil, we don't pay tax. In those days when we were young, I said it last year, you will pay taxes. You will pay Nico, you pay for this, you pay for that. And even when you are going to your farm, as 6 a.m., the tax collectors are there waiting for you. If they catch you, you may not go to anywhere. And if by chance you sneak out into your village, you may not return. Today, the payment of taxation is not enforced. Maybe the government that is democratic, they are afraid of collecting taxes from people. But I think we should collect taxes. 70% of us don't pay taxes. Imagine if 1,000 naira comes from the pocket of one person in Ogun State, and that times 7 million is a lot of money. With that, we can do something. We need to pay taxes on bicycles in those days, taxes on vehicles, taxes on radio and other things, fetches the government a lot of money. It was then they were doing the Buffon with it. They maintained, they constructed and maintained all roads. But now we don't pay tax. We have to assist the government if we want some things that are good by paying taxes. Number 3, in Ogun State now, we are people very near to the border, and we were farmers in those days. An Ogun State boy at 17 don't know how to plant cassava. Let us try as much as possible to teach our children how to produce our own food ourselves. If we can produce our own food, we don't import rice, we don't import things from abroad. We can save a lot of revenue by doing that. For example, if a family can try as much as possible to breed her own fowl, the eggs, the fish they want to consume, that will reduce a lot of things that we have to import from outside. Number 4, I want to appeal to the government of Ogun State that if we want people to be good, we have to teach them how to behave religiously. Therefore, that is why the government should try as much as possible to employ Malims for us in our schools, and that will go a long way to mold our people. Number 5, my father, the Royal Majesty of Kabisi Obaolubinle of Ilaro has spoken on Ogun West. I want our father, Dr. Prince Dapo Abiodun, the governor of Ogun State, to cast an eagle eyes of kindness on Ogun West. We are suffering. And I know the governor is a very kind person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Imam Dilmi, for your contributions. And like I said, we are moving to the Community Development Councils, and that is a sector where we have a cluster. But before that, going through our chat room, we could see that Kabiyesi Onikokea would like to also chip in a little bit of contributions. Kabiyesi Onikokea of Ikokea, if you are there, we would like to just prepare you. Once we are through with the Community Development Council, we will come to your side. And so we'll be joining the Community Development Council. That is a group sector where we have some other stakeholders waiting by. Thank you, Your Excellency. Because of time, we will take the Community Development Council And perhaps if His Excellency will permit us, we have the voice of the youth and the student before we quickly excuse you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Sorry, we would like to take the response of His Excellency now because of other state matters. I'm sure from there will be another person to co-chair this program till the end of this interactive session. For now, we'd like to listen to the response of His Excellency, having carefully listened to our contributions, our suggestions, and our comments. The number one citizen of the Gateway State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, MFR. Okay, His Excellency has graciously accepted that whether we have Kabiyesi Onikunke or from the Community Development Council, if we can quickly have your representatives, that's the Community Development Council. Let's just make it short in 2 minutes. His Excellency would like to oblige us so that we can have our input before he takes his leave.
Good afternoon. I am High Chief Taiwo Lucien, the Zonal CDC Chairman in Mepo. Without missing words, you can see that communities are partners in your government. And we really appreciate the speakers, the Kabiyesi, His Royal Majesty, the paramount ruler of Yoruba land. So, in fact, everybody has spoken very fine. And we employ you that this kind of program should not stop. Now, on behalf of the community in Ogun State, all the zonal chairmen in Ogun West, sir, we could see that for the past administration, the grants and subvention that we are giving to the CDEs, since you zoom into the office, we have not been doing the grant in needs. So, and that grant in needs, that is what helped us to continue our projects in our various community places. So renovation and structures of Chacha at Ikperu is very, very important because this is an institute. Then more so, the Ogun West, when we are going to the meetings, we have been pleading for that Ogun West should be given a bus so that will enable us to go to the meeting, to attend the meeting without going late. Now, the program of this seed SDP that was launched somehow last year. So we don't see the implementation so far. Government should try and take over the community schools. Unlike my own local government, the Imekwa for local government, all secondary school in Imekwa for local government are community schools. And up till now, there are some schools lying behind that has not been taken over by the government. Unlike this comprehensive college. The comprehensive college IMECO, established since 2013, are waiting to be taken over. And then there are so many roads made mention before by the paramount ruler. The IMECO Obolo Road, so it's very, very, very important, sir. Please take note of that. And more so, there is a school in Iwoye there. That is the community Iwoye Ketu Community High School with just a single teacher. A single teacher I'm talking about is the principal, is the teacher taking care of almost JSS 1, JSS 2, JSS 3 to SS 1, SS 2, SS 3. Please, government should please come to our aid. So that's Iwoye Meko Okeagbede Iwoye Road. In fact, government should try and see to that. Now, we now talk much about the tertiary institutions. Well, the privilege, the local government as the zones that have been having that privilege, government should try and give tertiary institution to the less privileged zones. So we are very, 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 very much particular about that. To run my story very short. So you see there are some loopholes in the circle of education, because actually many people have been talking on behalf of Yewa that we are being marginalized too much. So please, government, you try come to our aid about that. You know, before I leave, I left Imeko this morning around 5 a.m. because I want to meet up at 9 o'clock here in Abeokuta because of the bad route. Like last market, a timber of banana was sold for during the program of NSAS. A timber of banana was sold for 1,002. Could you believe that? During that NSAS, a timber of banana was reduced by 25%. All because of what? All because of bad road. And a timber now 1,500 because of what? They said that the security on the road are exhausting money. Then, if you have a good road, I don't think the security should have that kind of privilege. Please, Mr. Governor, sir, please try to see to that, because this border patrol are exhausting our people too much. So the government.
Thank you. I say very much, thank you very much from the Community Development Council for your representation and your contribution. At this point, would like His Excellency to respond to what we have highlighted. Like His Excellency to if Kabiyesi Oba Adela Olanio can hear us, that's the Onipokia of Ipokia, would like to have your contributions. Kabiyesi's Royal Highness Oba Adilakun Olanio, that's the Onipokia of Ipokia. If you can hear us, we would like to take your contributions before His Excellency would respond to us. His Royal Highness Oba Adilakun Olanio Onipokia of Ipokia. If you can hear us, would like to take your contributions. Okay, Kabesi, Oba Olanio, Royal Highness Oba Adilapo Olanio Ikokia of Ikokia would like to take you on straight for your contributions. Please just unmute yours clearly. Please remember we have just about 2.5 minutes to have your contributions, and let's leave out the protocols and already mentioned areas. Let's touch on other areas that have not been highlighted thus far. Kabisi is Royal Highness Oba Adelako Olanio. Just connect your audio and then we can hear you from this side. Thank you very much, Kabisi. Just connect to your audio device and you can speak to us, Kabisi. Kabisi, you just need to unmute yourself and then we'll have it.
Okay. Can I go ahead?
Please go ahead, Kabisi.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, US. Please permit me to remain on the existing protocol. I just want to back up what our paramount ruler said previously. Let me not waste our time. Everything he has voiced out is the concern of all US citizens. And we would like the government do the best they can to fix all these errors. Just for the sake of fairness, equity, and justice. Errors or injustices has been due to the negligence of the past administrations. But just like he said, there's no present without the past. So I don't want Your Excellency to take this wrongly. It's just that at a point in time in life when you feel like you have to speak out for your people, if you don't do it, the history will not forgive someone. So he has to come out with that. For us at Ipokia, and I'm not separating us from you, we're all one family. We want to appreciate the governor again for what he has done for us. The Odoafa Ipokia Jiroko Road is going on well, but the pace at which the work is going on, it's not that impressive, but I'm sure the administration will complete it. And I also want to mention our school. I remember when this administration came in, there was a committee set up to look into the issue of the tertiary institution in relation to the Ogun State Polytechnic. I think the committee submitted a report, and after that, Ogun Poly was reopened back. And I think we were promised that something will happen in Bukia as far as tertiary institution is concerned. But up to this present time, we haven't heard anything. We're just using this medium to remind the government that though we don't know if it's a polytechnic or University of Technology or whatever it is. Whichever one it is, we need it. That's one thing that can aid our development in Yewa as a whole. It's not Ipokia school alone. It's for Yewa as a whole. And let me just put it this way. The primary, I've said it earlier, but the thing is, if we look at the rates of or compare the development in other senatorial districts to Yewa, is nothing to write home about. We cannot even begin to compare. So sometimes you wonder, are we in the same state? Is this the same Ogun State? Because we have nothing in terms of development. No, I mean, like I said, this government has been trying. You know, we've seen efforts ever since I came. I came here last year. I was not living in Nigeria. So this government has been putting a lot of effort, but we want you to do more. So we won't feel neglected or, you know, marginalized. And that's what's been happening. You know, people want us to talk on their behalf. And that's why I give it to the primary lab for, you know, hearing our people's voice. And that's what he did. So once again, Your Excellency, we appreciate you. You're barely 2 years into this administration. Have been doing wonderfully well. But still, you know, I look at some list of roads that are put out for construction or renovation. Maybe you only has 1 or 2 out of 9 or 10. We still feel we are being left out, and it's not making us so happy. So let me just stop there. But please let us note everything that we've singled out, and we should not take it as being agitation. We are making an appeal to the government to please not forget us in Yewa land, and we will continue to support this government as long as we get, you know, fair share of the whole thing. Thank you once again, and I appreciate the effort and the opportunity put together to make this happen this today. Thanks once again.
Thank you very much, Kabisi, the only Pokea of Ipokea. Right about now, we will be having the response of His Excellency to our contributions thus far. And while he takes his leave, we'll try to look at other areas before we wrap up today. Now, Your Excellency, Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR will reply to our comments, suggestions, ideas that we've dropped. Your Excellency, sir.
Traditional rulers, the daughter of all that is including about together with books, our distinguished leaders of thoughts across the West, our religious leaders, our political leaders, our local students, our community leaders, are also taking time to share their thoughts with us. But we are not. I have a lot of commitments that I need to attend to that was agreed on for today. About the investment in the state. But this now contribution of the youth and some part of civil society. There make sure I get all the feedback from people that will make their submissions after I take my leave. Let me say that one of the first takeaways for me from this virtual town hall meeting is that beyond a virtual budget town hall meeting, we must endeavor to have meetings like this that will be a town hall meeting. Because I can see that a lot of issues that are related to the reason why we're meeting today have been brought before. And I believe that if we perhaps, I think we can hear me on Zoom. So I believe if perhaps we endeavor to have town hall meetings that are just regional town hall meetings, say the town hall meeting pastoral if we want every quarter, not necessarily for budget. It allows us to have the appropriate feedback from our constituents so that we can know how we're doing, we can know what the areas of needs are, we can know how and where we fall short, and we can make amends appropriately. So we'll institutionalize that we have town hall meetings at least 2 or 3 times a year so we can get the appropriate feedback. I observed that a lot of the feedback that we have gotten from this town hall meeting has largely been on the issue of road network in the West. And I want to say that I think it's very important to state that there is no deliberate attempt by this administration to develop any part of this state at the expense of another part. There cannot be. So we assumed of this and pledged to ensure that we have an integrated development of this state across the board. Finally, declare the state of emergency in the area of roads infrastructure. Immediately established the State Public Works Agency. And the reason for that then was seeing that we had roads in the state of repair across the state. And we thought that the Public Works Agency should commence rehabilitation and minor reconstruction without having to go through the hassle of third-party contract. Commence immediately, and that was the set of gangs across the state. And again, like I said, it's very possible that we constructed to go through finding work. We decided that to ensure inclusiveness, we must get everyone to submit to us local government and local government the list of their priority routes. From the feedback that I have this afternoon, I'm convinced that there's a problem somewhere. I don't have the doubt in my mind that there's something not quite right somewhere. And in the course of this government meeting, I sent for the Commissioner of Works, who have now joined us. I'm going to mandate the Commissioner of Works, the Commissioner of Transport, to sit down with our people from the West, they've been led by the Paramount Ruler, the Ogun Road, and a few community leaders to now go back to the drawing board, itemize, but look at the list of roads that we presented to us. They are implementing in phases and compare it to what their priority roads are. And my promise to you is that you probably find that some of the roads that were suggested are already on our list. My promise to you is that whatever list comes out of that meeting will now be considered as the priority roads of the West. And we will begin the implementation of whether construction or rehabilitation in phases as we are applying the funds to support them. Before I mentioned that the side at Albara Road, they are taking it over as a federal road. Someone mentioned that we are already embarking on federal roads. We Shagamu are looking at the federal roads and where we now making a speed. I'm not here to make a speed. I'm not governor of the east or governor of the central. I'm governor of this state. And I have responsibility to every citizen of this state. And by the grace of God, I intend to give up those responsibilities. So I am assuring you that beside that Albara Road, we are going to begin work on that road. Shagamu Abeokuta Road is a federal road. It will take over by the administration. You have succeeded in that. But because these rules are causing our future a lot of pain and suffering, decided that we're going to go ahead, we're going to begin the social rules, and we will continue to make demands on the federal government on the seat of do so for the which is a very long line. Very vulnerable state, very vulnerable. Now, having said that, I hope that puts to rest the issue of this road. I also listened to some of our leaders, especially so, that began to talk about the issue of I want to tell you that this is a budget. It is not a town meeting to address the issue of political appointments. But so that it does not sound like I'm making excuses, I would like to clear the air on that and say that today we've done about maybe 140 or so board appointments, board membership of commissions, chairman of different boards. About 140, 145. And I believe that this administration has been disposed to being as equitable as possible. And I'm not sure that we will have any good appointment as we've had other administration. In fact, out of what we've done so far, I believe in the central has about 49. The West has about 42. And maybe in the East has about maybe 55. If you look at these numbers in relation to the size of local governments, you would, as I'm sure you agree that this has been largely fair. If you look at it in percentage terms, you appreciate that this has been largely fair. So if you have 9 local governments in the East and 6 in the Central, and you have 5 in the West, and you have 49, 42, and 55. I think that the percentages speak for themselves. But I made a note to myself in terms of what percentage left. But then finally, it shows that like the 30, 33, and 38% in terms of percentages. But like I said, this is not the avenue for that, but I just thought I should speak for those things. I'm silent for that. We began the rehabilitation of family health care centers updates. And we decided to look at the West has, out of the 40 we've done, the West has, I believe, a total of 10 out of the 40 that we've done. So the two particular government in the West were 100% compliant. We also decided that we're going to rehabilitate schools across the state as well. Schools across the state. Out of the 90 schools, 32. Can things be better? Yes. What was to paint a picture that is so or plant a seed on the question that there is a deliberate attempt by the administration to develop some other part of the state, or for any reason, not develop the West. I am committed to developing this in that state. This opportunity to dialogue, and it afforded me the kind of feedback that I want to be afforded. And also, when Babatola said, you are no important chairman from the West, Babatola nothing to be further from the truth. I know that you have the chairman of the health management board of the West. You have the chairman of the West. You have the chairman of the multi-purpose trade agency of the West, which is an agency that we're empowering, by the way, one of the few agencies that is actually cash rich. That's a sound that chairman from Ogun. We have another chairman of the agency of the West. And I also want to mention that this administration, the very first opportunity I had to nominate the federal appointee, the very first opportunity, and practically the only one I've had so far, and we need that person from the West. So I don't think that is a very fair assessment. You put up today, and the budget commissioner, a very brilliant commissioner at that, the person of the West, and commissioner for housing, one of the pillars of this administration, commissioner for forestry, from the West, and my deputy governor, that's 2 persons in the state. So let us not paint, let us not catastrophize the situation, let us not make things look worse than they are. I appreciate the opportunity for this feedback, but there is no deliberate attempt to sidelining part of this state to the West. Having said that, I want to appreciate all those who have made remarks. I remember there was a woman who spoke about women participation and inclusion, which we are working on. She spoke about women participation, particularly that this is part of the reason why we started the rehabilitation of family health care centers across the state. Our target is to rehabilitate 400 family health care centers across the length and breadth of this state. We're soon going to be launching our health insurance scheme, because part of our vision is just is to implement a hub and spoke model, which means that you first have to be seen at the PhD level before you get referred to the secondary, and from the secondary level to the tertiary. So we are very committed to strengthening the primary healthcare sector. And we're going to ensure that we employ as many hands as possible. I received with joy 2 days ago the members of our health sector, doctors and nurses of NMA and those from OUT. And I remember the mention that they highlighted the fact that this administration had employed doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and across all the health professionals that are required. I mean, we didn't employ all that are required, but we employed a substantial number of health professionals that are required by the industry. And they said to me that that was the first time that was happening in hospitals in a long time. We employed doctors to do most of these are dead. We have also employed them according to what we continue to do this. I listened to, I think, was a district executive of the Chartered Accountants Association. Yes, okay, I can all of that. And spoke about tenure rate and that. And rest assured that we are already working on all that. See dividends of that. Talk about residency group. They are very much, when you're not in government, you need to say that, oh, they're not doing that. The residency rule, the rule that they were very familiar with. And I'm proud to say that this administration has been thinking about that residency rule. What the relationship that exists between us and Lagos State. Lagos State has been able to benefit from taxes of people that live in the state and work with Lagos. The CDS talked about a few other things. We mentioned among others community schools, and so there's a situation that we can take over from those schools. We mentioned also, I think I heard that, the CDS, and I'm going to refer those together commissioners, particularly education, to look at this issue. There was a particular school that was mentioned, that they said that the school has one principal, the principal is also a teacher, and the teacher should teach that. So that should refer to the commission for education. Please provide us the name of this school so we can find out what exactly going on. I like to say, closing. I like to say in closing that when Luka said there will be 2 years in office, well, it seems that there will be 2 years in office. And the truth is that about a year, maybe 5 months to 6 months in office. It's impossible for us to solve all the problems of this state, even in the first period. How much more in a year and a half? But one thing that I've always said is that we are deeply committed to the branding this state. We're deeply committed to joining hands with all of us, building the future of this state together. We're deeply committed to making this state great again. We'll not solve all the problems, we will definitely make this thing better. That's the commitment I can take to that. We can mention the issue of healthcare institution. Particularly the one that is in India. Yes, we set up a committee to look into the crisis. Who has it got this? There were crises everywhere. I mean, we've gone from one crisis to the other. We've gone from pandemic, coronavirus, to EndSARS. We were still not this. Apollo was not functional. Neither was the state executive. Neither was University of Science and Technology. So out of the three institutions, three tertiary institutions, none of them was functional. So instead of the community to look into the matter and advise us on the work that we do, but at least how some of them functional. And the committee, the recommendation was that our quickest thing was to ensure that Napoli was given back to the national students that pay, that are breathing, that students that are getting matriculate, students that jump admitted. There was a whole ecosystem around Napoli that seems to come out with. So we did just that, and the glory of God, Napoli is back. We're looking closely at the other recommendations. We will need of what we can afford, and I think that should just give us some time. Like I said, it's just in a year and 5 months. Jumping so many other situations, both in the education sector and also other sectors. We continue to do our best to be assured that for us, like I said, we continue to observe all tenets of good governance, accountable, inclusive, participatory, just, fair, equitable. On that note, I want to thank everyone who has taken time to join us on this town hall meeting. Town hall meeting is still ongoing. We like to hear from the rest of those that told me to speak. I just have to step out to attend another meeting that's an investor meeting. I wish all of us fruitful and constructive dedication. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your response thus far. I'd just like to let us know that all have the opportunity of having their contributions as well. The Community Development Council, where we're going to have inputs from the farmers and the traders, from the Yewa Awori Senator Secretary, and women groups and associations. You still have the opportunity to contribute your own quota harvested. The organized private sector, consisting of the Ugusima, that's agriculture, where we have the president. He will also give the His Excellency takes his leave. Our Excellency will still be very much with us. That's the Deputy Governor of the state. Salako Oyedele contributions and inputs, and from there conclude on interactive session with our stakeholders from Ogun West senatorial districts. If we have farmers and traders from the community development still with us, we'd like to take you now to complete that sector before moving on to the women groups and associations, where we have Alhaja Rabiu Kudurat and Mrs. Esther Kuduru standing by to be part of us. Go over one more time to the Community Development Council, where we can take the comments, the suggestions, the ideas, and the contributions coming from the farmers and the traders from the Yewa Awori axis of the state.
Thank you very much. My name is Prince Matthew Akoni Ajibawo. It gives, I'm representing Yewa Awori Farm Produce Traders and Farmers Association, YAPTA. It gives me a great pleasure to acknowledge the appreciative support of His Excellency for all the traders and partisan entrepreneurship. He celebrated this year's trade day for us. He allowed us to celebrate it, and he also sponsored it. We are very, very, very happy for this. We thank you very much. We appreciate you, sir. And it's our prayer that if the Lord tarries, may we celebrate more of it on the land of the living in Jesus' name, sir. Your Excellency, YAPTA is duly registered with the Cooperative Affairs Commission, CAC, and Ogun State Ministry of Commerce, Community Development and Cooperative in the Trade Department. The association strongly believes that your wealth of experience and intelligence in the area of commerce and entrepreneurship is what Ogun State needs to realize the dreams of rebuilding. Your Excellency, the history of perishable farmers' produce in Ogun West is a sad one. The existence is filled with total neglect, disappointment, and marginalization for many years, Your Excellency. Perishable farm produce traders have been operating without any form of support or assistance at the state or local level, sir. Your Excellency, I wanted to formally use this medium to bring to your attention the trials, ordeal, infringement on our fundamental human rights and ill experiences of our members who are drivers, farmers, and farm produce traders in the hands of various law enforcement agents in the state, which while transporting their goods from the point of purchase, that is from the indigenous farmland at our border areas to the point of sales at various markets in the state capitals, that is in Ogun State and Lagos State. We usually take the pains with patience to convince by offloading and reloading our goods at various checkpoints, so that this law enforcement will know that our load did not concede any contraband goods and that they are planted on Nigerian soil. This has caused us many damages and loss as the perishable items will lose its freshness and value before we get to the market. And the products will be sold at loss to attract our customers, as we always late for early morning sales. The law enforcement agents such as custom, the police, the immigration, the port health, the quarantine, the Nigerian Army, the NSCDC, and the trace, etc., use the platform of that the federal government has shut down the various borders to perpetrate the act of extorting our members with the claims that these goods, that is the vegetable, okra, pepper, and tomatoes, are smuggled in, whereas the goods were planted and harvested on Nigerian soil by our indigenous farmers. On all our major roads in Yewu, these various law enforcement agencies mounted an uncountable checkpoints in possession to extort. Our members are forced to pay huge amount of money before they are granted passage, or they have their goods confiscated by this if they refuse to pay. A bus or a lorry load of fresh farm produce will surely spend up to 70,000 naira to bribe from the point of loading to its destination. Sir, this is one of the major causes of inflation in the state. It is worthy to mention that this extortion will bounce back on the state economic growth, as it will affect the price and availability of all these farm produce in the market. Two, when the prices are high, it reduces the demand for these products, makes it inaccessible to the common man in the state. Three, it will serve to the farmers who are farming on the state government and bank loans.
All right, sir, thank you very much, the representatives of the farmers.
We are appealing to you, sir, to please include us in our
in West Senatorial District. It appears we have lost the audio signal there. We'll be moving to other sectors. If we have Elijah Rabiu Kudirat with us, we can take you or Mrs. Esther Kuduru. Elijah Kudirat is of the Federation of Muslim Women of Nigeria, Form 1, and Mrs. Esther Kuduru is of the CNS Women, so that we can also have inputs of women in this discourse and interactive session. Elijah, thank you. We can hear you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your Excellency, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I want to, first of all, appreciate our governor for the wonderful job he's been doing since he's assumed office. And I pray that the Almighty God will grant him and at the same time, strengthen him to be able to achieve better, so that I can leave Ogun State better than he met it. First of all, I want to employ the governor, sir, that it should include in the 2021 budget, free health services for women and youth. There was a scheme at the Ministry of Health called Araya Scheme, where the children from 1 year to 5 benefited from free health. So I want the governor to please revisit the scheme in order to improve the health status of our young ones. I equally want to implore His Excellency to create job opportunities for our graduates, as well as vocational training for other youths in order to improve their economic status. Federation of Muslim Women is imploring him to employ Islamic teachers in our various schools in order to inculcate good morals. And eradicate moral decadence in our society. We'll be glad if the executive governor of our dear state can give women 50% concession in government and in appointed positions. Youth empowerment, as well as that of women empowerment, should be embarked upon and included in the 2021 budget. Subventions and grants should also be given to women groups and as well as the civil society organizations in our state. Implementation of adult education is very key, as this will eradicate ignorance as well as illiteracy in our society. More importantly, sir, the issue of rape should be addressed and perpetrators brought to book. I want to employ him to ensure the enforcement of law related to related to child abuse in order to eradicate this menace in our society. More important, Form 1 has been partnering with the state government, and we are still very much ready to partner with the state government. As from our hand, we are into, we give scholarship to the young ones in the area of education. We also assist in the area of health and empowerment. So we'll be glad if His Excellency can empower youths and women. It should also improve on the care given to the aged, the widows, the physically challenged, as well as the vulnerable in the society. And lastly, we want His Excellency to improve on the security in the state. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Alaja Kudrat, for your contribution. Alaja Kudrat is of the Federation of Muslim Women of Nigeria, that is Form 1. Once again, we still hope that Mrs. Esther Kuduro of CNS Women, that she is the secretary of the CNS Women Movement. If you are still there, you can still join us. While we wait for connection from your side, we would like to have the contribution coming from the Ogun State Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, where we have Prince Bayo Ikujenyo standing by. Prince Bayo Ikujenyo, if you can hear me, please, let's have you now. Let's leave aside the protocols and or other areas that have been touched, and let's touch on other aspects that we have not mentioned thus far. Prince Bayo Ikujenyo, over to you. Prince Bayo Ikujayo, we appear not to be hearing you from this side. Just unmute yourself so that we can hear you clearly. Perhaps you're muted. Just unmute yourself and then you can address us. Thank you very much. Prince Bayo Ikujayo, one more time. Unmute yourself and we can hear you. Thank you.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, that is I'm afraid Prince Bayo Kujayo will not be able to take you. We are not having a good connection with your audio at this side. Maybe if you try and check your connection device, if you're able to put that right, we will come back to you and take your contribution. For now, we invite Comrade Felix Agbesoa of the Trade Union Congress and ASU to speak on behalf of our trade unions representing Ogun West Senatorial District. Comrade Felix Agbesoa of the TUC and ASU to address us on behalf of the trade unions from Ogun West Senatorial District. Comrade, if you can hear me, Isueto.
Hey, Africa. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to salute the courage of the Excellency, the amiable governor of Ogun State, for organizing this kind of tower hall meeting. I hope everybody can hear me now. I am here to speak on behalf of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria Chairman State, the person of Comrade Akim Lasisi, and the Academic Staff Union of Secondary School Chairman. He has sent a message that I am to deliver on his behalf this afternoon. Please permit me to go ahead. It is of known great news again that Ogun State, as we know, is a gateway state. A gateway state is a citadel of learning in which every one of us are proud of. And because we are proud of the state, we are glad to commit our seats and our everything we to make sure that the state becomes great in life. Today, we are here to appreciate the governor of Ogun State for implementing the 30,500 minimum wage, which was implemented and paid on October 38, 2020. That was just a few days ago. This really shows that we have a governor that believes in the leadership of the labor and that believes in the workforce of the people. And nevertheless, because of his own reaction and his own commitment to this labor have concluded that we are going to give him our utmost support as a labor union. And so we want to tell the governor that we appreciate him for everything he has done for us. Moreover, the government has demonstrated an uncommon maturity in the face of between labor and ourselves during the last trade dispute. This has communicated in the payment of the agreed memorandum of understanding and promise. As stakeholders, things that we would like to put straight here for all to consider because of the COVID-19 experience. Payment of arrears of the minimum wage. Payment of arrears of the minimum wage. It is our belief that the governor or the government of Ogun should try as much as possible to make sure that they fulfill the of the minimum wage that was paid this month of October. Not only that one, we want to tell our government to please help us to consider the workers in Ogun State, proving the 2018, 2019, and 2020 promotion exercise that has been a long overdue of a thing. Also, the payment of backlog of almost 8 months of unremitted monthly deductions, which have been variously stressed and argued that the government will try to consider this one and try to make the workers to be much more happier, more than ever before. Also, we want I hope I'm still here. Hello. Thank you so much. It is the network. The several months of unremitted government counterparts in the contribution pension scheme, we wish that the government will also remember us and try to pay up. Also, we want to plead to the government and the governor of Ogun State, because we know that it's a friendly governor and it's a workers-friendly governor, the man that always listens to the of workers, that he should please help us to pay the 6 years leave allowance that has been on his table, that we have pleaded unto him for, and it's part of the memorandum of understanding that was signed during the face-off between the Labour and the government from 2015 to 2020. And as a stakeholder in the education industry, we plead to the government to please construct more classrooms for our students in all areas that Ogun State is, whether in the south, whether in the west, whether in the north or in the east. We have shortage of classroom for our students. And this is a great thing for us, because now our illiterate parents are not happy to send their children back to school because of the promise that Pabiodun has made for us. That promise made is for education for all children in the state. So we wish that some of the existing structures that are old should be renovated, and there should be a kind of increase in new structures of classrooms. Finally, we want to pray that the government should try to include in the budget that is coming up to 2020, 2021, that employment of teachers in all our secondary schools in Ogun State is what we need now. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something clearly this afternoon, that as I'm talking to you now, we have shortage of staff in our classrooms. And it's because that some of our good hands are retiring, which we cannot stop for no reason, because they have met the statutory retirement age, where they have to go, but they are leaving vacuum. For example, in our secondary schools, we can see teachers that we have 10 teachers teaching more than 400 students. We have in a school that we have only 3 teachers that is manning over 375 students. We have records and statistics across secondary schools, and we want productivity in our state, because our governor has stressed it from day one when it was inaugurated. He said education is his priority, and we know he's the son of a retired teacher. So that is why we are pleading to the government to please help us to consider the education sector in the 2021 budget. That please, we need teachers in our classrooms. We need teachers in our secondary school. We want employment to be done for teachers, so that new fresh blood can come in, so that there can be more hands on ground, so that we can produce effectively in the gateway state that is called Ogun State.
You are going to call me any moment.
Should be included in the 2001 proposed budget. Once again, on behalf of Akin, MFR, for not reneging on his promise that is fulfilling minimum wage,
thank you.
Which he has
Thank
done.
you very much, Comrade Felix Agbesowa, for your contribution. Is of the Trade Union Congress and ASUS, speaking on behalf of the trade unions from Ogun West Senatorial District. Would like to still see if the National Association of Ogun State Student Vice President, Ogun West, Mr. Akiremi Eniola Sampson is still on, or the Comrade, representing National Youth Council of Nigeria, Comrade Adele Tajuddin, if we still have you on, we'd like to have your contributions. But we want you to hold on as we take on the Ugusima, Prince Bayo Ikujeyo. We were unable to hear him the other time, and hopefully now, I believe he can come in. Prince Bayo Ikujeyo, you.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me now, sir? Thank you very much. As I was saying, I reside in Agbara. I have a plant, a factory in Agbara. In Agbara and its environs, we have more than 150 industries, but there is no single fire station, firefighting service. And if there is a fire incident, it means that we need to call Badagry or Festac or Ota. Before any of them gets here because of the bad road, the havoc could have been completely wreaked on whichever either is industry or residents. So we believe that by now, government should be thinking seriously of having a fire station to be able to service all these people around here. Then the second thing is on the dual vocational training program. As it is now, I will tell you emphatically that the technical middle manpower is lacking in all the industries because we don't have people to fill in. The vacancies are there, but you don't have people to fill in that gap because, and we have technical colleges where they can send them for retraining. But these technical colleges are not funded, they are not equipped. And if they are equipped and funded, it will even help in boosting the unemployment of our youth. And I think government should look into this seriously. The last thing I want to talk about is the illegal toll collectors on the roads. The roads are very bad. Despite the fact that the roads are very bad, you find people just going to the road and collecting money. They are not collecting it for government. They are collecting it for their own pockets. And I will not accept or believe that government is not aware of this. Because each time we talk about it, they say they will do something about it. Nothing has been done about it. I wish that government can take this up and clear these people off the road. They are constituting menace to the drivers of the very
Well, it appears.
Thank you very much.
It appears we've lost that audio connection one more time with Prince Bayo Ikujeyo, but thank you very much for your contributions. The National Youth Council of Nigeria, under the leadership of Comrade Abdul Jabbar Ayilagbe, will have Comrade Kehinde Damilola, the State Organizing Secretary from Ogun West, representing them. So if we have Comrade Kehinde Damilola, we'll like to before we wrap up.
Good afternoon, everybody. I sincerely want to appreciate everybody that's contributed since the beginning of the program. I am Kehinde Damilola Jubelo. What we want to chip in is, as youth of Ogun West, we appreciate the intervention of the governor through the Ministry of Environment to bring management of Dangote to table on their corporate social responsibility to the people. And we would like to call the attention of the governor to the danger facing the youth, the killing by the Nigerian custom officers, that we need his attention to please try to step in and appeal to curb those custom officers. Then we need his attention that government should get detailed and comprehensive data of our teaming youth. We believe this will help the government in planning. And number 4, activation of skill acquisition center spread across different local government in Ogun West, all the 5 local governments in Ogun State, Ogun West. We believe this will reduce facility burden on several government skill acquisition center. Your Excellency, I'm happy to report that the National Youth Council at our level, we've started vocational training for youth across the state, Ogun West especially. On the issue of road, our leaders, the paramount ruler, they've said a lot, and we believe by the special grace of God, you will help us to work on that. Kabiyesi Onikpokia of Okpokia has already talked about that of Mutek at Ikpokia, that we need critical. We believe that if the government partner with private organization to establish that institution, it's going to bring serious development to Ogun West and the entire state as a whole, whereby you will now see how people will troop in to invest in that area. And from there, things will begin to change for better. We want the governor to please help us on that as well. We can't just be looking at the structure that has been erected at Ekpokia to keep dwelling without any purpose. It is serious wasting of resources. So we want the government to please find something better to do concerning that. And on the issue of technology up, Ogun West need that as well. We need technology up in Ogun West, probably in Mekwa Yewa North, Ikpokia. We need technology up as well. Concerning the appointment of youth in the governor administration, while we appreciate the Ogun State governor inclusion and appointment of many youth of Ogun State into government, most of the youth appointments are from Ogun Central and East. We will appreciate if the governor can please consider our youth, because they are, we in Ogun West, we are responsible as well, and we are presentable as well. We always see the Ogun West were shortchanged seriously. That's what we want the governor to help us look into. And concerning our road at Imekwa for local government, we had when the governor was presenting, naming some roads that they're going to construct very soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Comrade Kehinde Damilola, for your own contributions. I'm afraid that the bit that time will permit us to take. The very last contribution for today will be coming from the president of Yewa Chambers, Ogun West, as we invite Alhaji Shijuade Idowu. Alhaji Shijuade Idowu, if you can hear me, let's just take your contributions now. Alhaji Shijuade Idowu, please.
I stand on the existing protocol. As the president of Yewa Chamber of Commerce, standing for private organized sector, somehow a stakeholder to the government enterprises. Yeah, a lot of people have talked about road, which is extremely important to economy or to any investment. Chamber of Commerce consists commerce, industry, mines, and agriculture, right? Ogun West is known for, it's an agrarian community. And then since I've taken over the presidency of Yewa Chamber of Commerce, I've been working tirelessly to know or to see what I can do to change the economy of Ogun West through agriculture. Ogun West, we are known before for cocoa plantation, a very terrible and big cash crop those days. But now, when I came in, I've been searching for what can I do to turn around the economy of that particular community through agriculture. From my findings, I stumbled on a product on a plant called a money plant. Yes, I've seen people have talked a lot because we represent profit organized sectors. But now, how do I develop my community through agriculture? So on doing this, I found out to see a plant called a money plant. That if you embark seriously on this, with the government support, Ogun West will turn from poverty ridden to an enviable affluence community. And this we assist the government. The plant I'm talking about will generate enough foreign exchange for Ogun West, Ogun State, and Nigeria in particular. And we can be the next to Lagos State in terms of revenue generation. Even with what I'm talking, the plan I'm talking about, you can't compare even with crude oil. I assure you, the people of Delta something region, they'll be surprised what will turn to Ogun State. Yes, we make a lot of money in Ogun State. If you Ogun West, the border town is there. The government is making almost 4 billion per month. What is done to our people there? Rather, they turn our children to scavenge lambs. The cost, the broadcasting customs, they kill them at large. So this plant I'm talking, castor, it may not be known to people here in Nigeria, but now it has been a plant that people are from Osun State have not listened with me. It's not going on there. But it's not done in a very wide something. So if the government of Ogun State can engage the Chamber of Commerce in a roundtable discussion, and I can assure you it's an investment return within 6 months and a year with high profit. So this is the area I want to contribute. If there's something you could do to improve or to develop this particular plant, then government should assist us in getting a very wide land and coming with funds. I can satisfy myself for my state, for my community, to make sure that comes to reality if we are called upon. So these are major things that I want to discuss upon. Already, what I will discuss about the education, road infrastructures, a lot of people have discussed on that. So I will not take much time to go back to those areas. But I appeal to Ogun State government to help develop Ogun West economically. I remember sometime before the inauguration of this existing government, the Yewa Development Council made a video and sent to the governor. People have implemented that. A lot of these things we are talking about will have been rectified. But to me, what I want much is to develop Yewa and Ogun State economically. This is my own contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Shijwadi, for that beautiful contribution. Well noted. At this point, we will be taking the final wrap-up, and it will be coming from the co-chair, as Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State. Your Excellency, can we have you?
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much for staying on for this meeting. His Excellency had done a very comprehensive wrap-up of the first part of the meeting. And just like to several groups in the second part, and to just pass some brief comments on some issues that have been raised. We had a lot of concern from the perishable goods sector, and what I will do is immediately liaise with the essay on security and the Honorable Commissioner to make sure law enforcement agencies are well thought out and discuss this. I'd also like to remind everybody that His Excellency recently set up the Human Rights Complaints Office, and this office will sit and receive complaints of human rights violation, especially by law enforcement officers, and look into all this and make sure that our people are protected as they go about their day-to-day business across the state. There's also a portal that will set up, and I think there's some freeze. I want to employ everybody to take advantage of this, right? His Excellency had mentioned earlier that the health insurance scheme was going to come online very soon. So for the speaker who was asking about free healthcare for children and things like this, a comprehensive health insurance scheme going to come online, and that would take care of everybody. And His Excellency described the healthcare policy of the state being the hub and spoke approach, so that it would take care of people from the primary healthcare centers up to the tertiary centers. You will also recall that earlier the VAP bill, that's the Violence Against Prohibition of Violence Against Persons bill, was domesticated here in Ogun State, and there's a committee on that which is working to make sure that the security, interests, and health of all our citizens are protected, especially where it relates. We also have, Nigerian police is setting up a specialized office there to actually support people who have been through this kind of violence and make sure that they're treated with the utmost respect. And the Attorney General is working to have this duplicated rights right across the state. On the issue of security across the state, all the relevant stakeholders, and you will agree that we had one of the, in the recent protests and ensuing violence across the state, engaged with, also realized that we had a lot of volatility, getting very active engagement of His Excellency. Had a youth forum from His Excellency launched the OGS scheme, a scheme that will give vocational training. The first batch will be 250 youth in each of the 20 local governments. So each cycle will be 5,000 youth. The internship at different companies and government establishments across the state, and they will be provided with employment opportunities afterwards. So that will take care of the concerns of the speaker from the Nigerian. What there is illegal in this, and we continue to work to get them off our road. So we just need the continuous engagement with everybody in that sector. The Honorable Commissioner for Transportation is on this, and we will also bring this to his attention again to know that we are working earnestly to do the firefighting service. I believe that is in the plan. Governor, we have approved across the state, and the implementation will come soon. So we are working a site for that even before our election into office, and His Excellency is committed to deliver on that. We had a representative of the TUC stated a lot of demands, while also acknowledging that Excellency, being a man of integrity, will fill the MOU with Labour, and I believe His Excellency also reiterated that on Monday that he plans to fulfill the MOU with Labour, and I think everybody was quite happy with His Excellency's position on that on Monday. Finally, I would refer the Yewa Chamber of Commerce to Ogun Invest. We are always looking for very good opportunities here, and there's Ogun Invest is a one-stop shop where any investment ideas that you have can come in, and they will work with you to make sure that the plans are realized. They have been doing tremendous work across the state in different sectors, in agric, in mining, manufacturing, and this proposal from the Yewa Chamber of Commerce, I'm sure they'll be happy to receive it and run with it and support the Building Our Future Together agenda. So all in all, I want to thank all the participants from Ogun West who have joined us today to take part in this town hall meeting. It has been very engaging, and we have been able to get a lot of feedback from this town hall meeting. I thank our royal fathers for their very earnest contributions, our political holders, all the CSO groups, the youth, everyone who has contributed today. We really appreciate this. It's nice to hear directly from the people who we are serving and understand where the shoe pinches and how best we can meet the needs of the people in Ogun State. His Excellency is committed to leaving everybody in Ogun State in a better place than where we were before, and we'll work together to achieve this for everybody. I also once again want to remind you that the program for Ogun Central is tomorrow, and we look forward to also engaging with constituents in Ogun Central. Thank you very much, and do have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Ma, for that closing remarks. Right about now, we just move the vote of thanks as we invite the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Budget and Planning, Mrs. Fumilayo Dada.
Excellency, the Deputy Governor of the State, Engineer Mrs. Honorable Speakers of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable honorable members of the House of Assembly, the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Own Head of Service, Raja Segment, the Chief of Staff, Raja Service, Private Commissioner for Finance, Chief Economic Advisor, Mr. Barigo, Private Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olabito, S.C., distinguished members of the State Executive Council, Board of Permanent Secretaries, political leaders, party stalwarts, members of organized private sector and civil societies, esteemed traditional rulers, all other protocol duly extended. Thank the Almighty God for His faithfulness and kindness over our state, and leaders and the entire good people of the state. We really appreciate the dynamic and public spirited governor, His Excellency Dr. Abiodun for his support, leadership qualities, and the approach to governance is became the of the state. The Deputy Governor, Register of the State House of Assembly, Secretary to the State Government, and Head of Service, Chief of Staff, and other members of the State Executive Council are also very appreciated for their valuable contribution to the success of this special meeting. In the same way, we want to thank the Almighty God for the Board of Permanent Secretaries, and highly esteemed traditional leaders, political leaders, representatives of the organized private sector, civil society, various groups and associations, our religious leaders, and our youth, and all members and the team of Ministry of Budget and Planning for their participation. We thank you and we thank God for this day.
Thank you very much, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Budget and Planning, for that vote of thanks. Please note that by the special grace of God, tomorrow we'll be completing the cycle as we will move to Ogun Central Senatorial District. We just have the closing prayer now. Alaji Adekule, please.
Thank you, Mr. Walidosunu. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. We thank the Almighty Allah for making this day a reality for us. We also thank him for adding to our joy in Ogun State. We appreciate and honor him for the favor he has always bestowed on us in Ogun State, especially when we remember the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic and the issue of NSAS protests in Ogun State. We thank him dearly for this, and that attests to the leadership acumen of our dear governor, Prince Dr. Dapo Abiodun MFR. And on the strength of that, I do ask for more favor from the Almighty Allah for our governor to increase him more in knowledge, wisdom, and strength as he strives to take Ogun State to the next level. We also thank him for making our governor to fulfill all the promises he has made to us as civil servants of Ogun State, with reference to the implementation of new minimum wage. Therefore, the blood of commitment, kindness, dedication, and commitment that runs through his veins shall never run dry. In the name of Almighty Allah, and we pray for the divine gift of fulfillment for His Excellency, so that all the promises he has been making and he has been fulfilling, he should be able to do more. And to the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, who is also a very strong pillar of this administration, we beseech Almighty Allah to uphold her and her entire household. And to our SSG, who was overwhelmingly happy yesterday, the source of your happiness shall never run dry. To all members of the Executive Council of Ogun State, right from the honorable commissioners, and lest I forget our amiable head of service, may the God Almighty continue to strengthen you, our commissioners, and other political functionaries in the state. Our traditional rulers who have participated to grace this occasion, may you reign longer than your forefathers. To religious leaders, we pray that Almighty God will continue to endow you with more knowledge as you lead your shepherds to eternity. And to my colleagues, in the Board of Permanent Secretaries, other civil servants, and other stakeholders, NGOs, CSOs, have participated in today's meeting to let us record this success. May your ways be prospered by the Almighty Allah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salam ala mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Sallu ala nabiyil Mustafa.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Praise God.
Can we sing the national anthem together as we close today?
So,
Thank you very much. Central Senatorial District. God bless you.